Hey, welcome everyone to the Sketch Zone podcast. I'm Carlos Gomez. We're going to go ahead and get right into it because this week, y'all, I'm excited to be talking to some folks that are going to also be tabling at Ground Zero Animation Expo. We got Greg Lawson and Spencer Toole from Edensky Studios.
What's up?
Studio audience.
Yeah,
Wow.
we haven't hired him back. We told him not to say anything until it starts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stunned.
Right.
That's scary.
Nothing but high quality in this show.
That's good. Yeah. You gotta watch them. They're quiet. They're behind me. They just don't say anything.
Real quick hello to Eva. Hello. Real quick hello to Noel. Hello. And real quick to the very first logger inner tonight is Landon Wilson. Hello. Hey. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Charlie Beal Williams III.
Yeah, get it right. Hey, I'm here. Happy to be back. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hey, I'm good.
Hi.
That was for Eva.
Hey. Hi, Jack Kasperzak.
Hi. I'm not gonna try and follow that. I'm gonna let that be what it was.
Just try once.
I'm gonna let that be what it was.
Hi.
Hey, hi.
Yeah, this is.
What up?
I love the chat. I gotta pay attention because the chat seems like it's gonna be live tonight.
Oh, Spicer McLeroy. Hello. Welcome.
I know who that is.
Macklemore. Macklemore.
Spicer.
Thrift shop. Oh, hey.
Spicer showing up.
If you're listening live and you want to use the chat room, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you can use the Sketch Zone podcast or Sketch Zone hotline.
Yo.
I've only done that 140 other times.
Let's try that again. Ready?
All right, ready? You can use a Sketch Zone hotline. That's 408-753-8248. 408-SKETCH-8. International callers. 011-408-753-8248. Sketch 8.
Yo, you redeemed yourself really good there. That was really good. I'm so proud.
Yeah, that's right.
That was good.
So hello everyone. We're gonna go ahead and get into. Hang on, my mouse is being so goofy right now.
You don't need that.
We're gonna go ahead and get into.
Oh, we're doing
Let's go to the canvas here and let's get
We
started.
learned from last time.
I believe
Okay. Remind me what it was.
I'm feeling a little excited today because my buddies are on, and Jack and Charlie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Uh-huh. Yeah, you get that, Jack?
I heard it.
Let's see how you.
Oh, hey, Sketch Zone Fun Prompt. Last week was Uplifted Toad Bank Teller playing hula hoop.
A lot of words.
So let's see what we did. We're gonna have to keep an eye on Jack because Jack was done drawing even before the show was done last week. So,
I'm not doing that again. I missed too many sound cues.
Jack had an
Whoa.
awesome piece too. Jack was like,
I zoned out and I was like, ooh, I'm making a toad. And then before I knew it, the show was over and you all did the fun prompts.
so this is Jack's submission. Well played, sir. I like it.
$1 bill, y'all.
Making it rain, son. Making it rain.
So this is what we're doing this week. Okay, I'm gonna.
The happy ass toad.
My one-liners.
All right, let's see who's up next. Oh, me. Oh, I got lazy. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, here's a frog. Here's a frog. Here's a frog. We're done.
Wait a minute. Is this frog wearing a skirt?
Yeah.
A suit skirt. One of those. It's Maud from accounting.
This show it's the Hillary Clinton frog.
Yeah, that's totally what it is.
What? Women can't be bank tellers? You sexist
I
kid.
bet you they are.
Wait, what? Wait, where are we going with that? No.
I wanted to draw.
No, you're right. That's a total bank teller outfit.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Eva, she said, so lazy. How dare you?
Yeah.
So lazy you didn't even drop pants. You just cut it
Get
off.
him. That's why he did it. That's why he did it. Let's talk about it.
Sexist frog. Texas toad.
You know what that is? That's not
You
necessarily a big
amphibian.
teller.
What would it be? What would it be if you didn't like amphibians? You'd be an amphibiist.
Anti-amphibite.
Amphibite. It sounds so aggressive.
Amphibites.
Amphibite.
She got gams. Yeah, she does.
Oh, they're gams. No, you know, it's not really a teller though. That's like the manager when you're pissed off at the teller. You're like,
About that sack of money, though.
Wait, what do you mean? Why is this a manager and not a teller? I'm real confused by this
because
distinction.
got the code.
Because Charlie's trying
managers
to
are always
his own ass is what it is.
No, I'm not. Actually,
That's
I'm not.
fine. That's fine.
I'm not though. It's
Moving
like
on.
they have the nice suit.
Maybe she's
Outfit.
trained to
Big old
become.
bag of money.
Yeah, the tellers don't have the money. You know, she's hanging out in the vault all the time. Has the key.
To the payday.
Manager that has a nice little desk up front, right by the front door. So they're cold in the wintertime if they're in Chicago.
Cander's Creation chimes in with this one. I like it because the frog is uplifted.
That was clever.
We got hula hoops. We got everything in there. Good job, Canders. Let's see. Oh, Maestro, please.
Now that looks like a manager.
I thought that was a clever
He's
use.
managing to balance his big ass on that pile of cash.
Yeah.
Props for that factor.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Those are glasses.
Is this a
Managing
teller
balance.
or is this a rapper?
Nice.
Hey Charlie, how come you don't critique this manager? He doesn't look like a teller.
You know, he's got good glasses. Like me.
He looked like
Wait.
he's
You know
the
what?
chairman of the board at the freaking IRS.
Yes.
Right.
What was those trolls? But in Harry Potter, yeah, dungeons or whatever. I don't know what they're called. I feel like Shiloh needs like a little sound effect when we show Shiloh's thing.
I know.
All right,
What would it?
next show? I'm gonna find one.
What does
Yes.
it sound like? What does it sound like when Jesus comes back? Oh, hey! Speaking of which, hello, Shiloh.
That was harmony.
Oh, like he showed up, like he heard his name
See,
and like materialized in the chat.
you prayed to Shiloh and he appeared.
Shiloh's not human. He's an angel.
He sketched on Jesus.
Bad art corner. I have made some horrible life choices. This is hilarious. I like that. This is well done. Well played, Bad Art Corner. One vote for Shiloh sound effects. All right, let's see. We got Emily's Doodles. She's amazing. If you guys get a chance, go check her Instagram out. She can kill it.
I want my money.
Yeah.
I think this frog just quit.
Yeah, that's why everyone's so angry in the background.
I like
This one is-
the shape of the mouth is really cool. It's got like a really 3D volumetric feel
Yeah,
to it.
especially with the teeth.
Yeah. Good job, Emily. Oh, we got some new stuff up there. You guys should follow and take a look. I wanted to take a minute to talk about my boy,
I like the colors.
On my
Yeah.
TV.
Maurice. This is my buddy Maurice.
Who dis?
We've been harassing each other on Instagram for a while. He's got skills. You should check him out. Dynamite TV and the #1. He's really cool. Constantly trying to improve and just trying different things all the time. So check him out. Let's see what else. And then that's that too. Cool. So good job, everyone. Excellent job. The chat is on fire right now. I'm just making sure that they're not addressing us. They're just going back and forth about their love for Shiloh.
I'm starting to movement in the chat. Some movement is gonna bubble in the chat and spill over one day.
And I know you guys are tired of me doing this, but everyone needs to
Jack,
see.
there it is. See, look, you did it again.
See, that's Shiloh sent that to me, and for that, he's just an amazing human.
So at every show, at the 4 minute and 50-second mark, you can look at Shiloh's artwork.
Carlos's white walls. And his 2 pieces of artwork on the wall.
All right, what's the new one?
So here we go.
Let's go. Give it to me.
We're gonna lock. We're gonna open up character, outfit, and action. Greg,
Yes.
Spencer, do you guys want to go easy or do you guys want to go hard?
Up to
Gotta make it interesting and go hard.
Yeah.
you. Ooh, I like these guys.
Do we want to go hard 1, hard 2, or hard 3?
Ooh.
2 because I like even numbers. Well, Spencer, you can pick also.
Dude, sounds good. Let's do it.
Nice. You guys have had 2 weeks of easiness. Let's go.
Dustin Pike Draws said Eva should be on that wall. Yeah, Eva should be on that wall. We're gonna figure that out here in a
He has a
moment.
lot of wall.
I do.
He has a lot of wall to use.
Plenty of wall space. Yeah, you can
got wall
totally.
space.
I actually got some posters. I'll show you guys later. I got some posters and I'm gonna hang my own stuff on the wall. But yeah, Eva, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk, Eva.
Legit, next week he's gonna have a bunch of stuff on the wall.
Just a portrait of himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so recap: super hard or number 2
So
hard?
we're gonna go medium. We're gonna go medium hard.
Let me see. I'll try to do that.
I'm gonna try to keep it family friendly.
Mhm.
So we got character, outfit, action, and then we have 2 expressions. Here we go.
Here we go.
We got a ram. That is the noun, not the verb.
Hey, you can interpret it any old which way you want, artist.
Yeah.
A court
We believe in
reporter.
free thought.
A court reporter. Ram.
See?
Pogo jumping.
Oh boy.
Weird.
A stubborn, tortured ram that happens to be a court reporter. Pogo jumping.
Man.
That's a lot of words,
That's a
man.
lot of words.
Okay, what are the... Okay, let's type them out.
I like how Jack makes him say it again.
Stubborn,
Stubborn,
court
tortured,
report,
Tortured.
tortured,
tortured, ram,
pogo stick.
court reporter,
Got it.
pogo jumping.
Pogo jump.
Pogo jumping.
I have something in my head already, but we're going to be talking to these guys for a while. So
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can't do that. So anyway, there you go. Schedule and fun prompt: a stubborn, tortured ram court reporter that just happens to be pogo jumping.
All right.
Ram.
Let's go to the
That's
canvas
it.
here, and that's the start. I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
So,
Fine-tuned machine. Fine-tuned machine.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I feel good about it this week.
I know. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys happen to notice that Google I.O. is happening this week?
no, I was too busy talking to John Legend.
Ooh,
Because now you can talk to John Legend.
nice.
When?
You didn't watch that?
Yeah.
No.
That was one of the big things. Is now they're using. So remember the voice synthesizer that we talked about on the show a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So now their newest thing is to integrate that into Siri, and they're going to get celebrity voices so that you can. John Legend is apparently the first one.
Interesting.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can,
Or how much
you
that
can say,
includes
"Hey
that.
John, turn on my living room lights," and he'd be
You
like,
mean-
"Okay," or whatever he does.
If they make an auto tune one, that'd be perfect.
Oh, somebody clip that if you're on Twitch.
What is it? What is it? DMX. Hey, DMX, turn off my lights.
Hey, go!
Hey, yo, bitch.
Turn off your lights. Play you a
Turn
song.
off your own damn lights.
No, that's for Google, right? Not Siri, right?
Sorry, yes. Google Home.
John's all about Google. Okay, that's what I'm not sure. Yeah.
So they have been doing some really cool things, like what was it? Your Google Assistant's going to be able to say call a restaurant or call what did they do? Their
Doctor's appointments or whatever. Yeah.
Can they pretend to be
Yeah.
John Legend and get me in sooner?
Awesome.
Right.
I mean, let's just
or pretend to be John Legend and get me in their house so we can have dinner.
Let's talk. We could really talk about how Siri's just having a really bad week this week now.
Is she?
Well, based on
why are we going to take Google happiness and turn it into Siri sadness?
Well, because it's yin yang. Can't have one without the other.
I mean, also Alexa, is
yeah. No one even talks about Alexa.
Alexa depression.
Yeah. I'm over here. All she's doing is recipes and playing.
I hope everybody's smart home is just going crazy right now.
Yeah, mine just lit up. I totally forgot I had one for a second.
Alexa, play Kanye.
Alexa, drain the bank account and send it to Sketch Zone.
How would you like those guys? No, it was really cool though. I think we just watched Skynet be birthed this week because like I like the other part of the keynote where they're talking about being able to have a conversation and continuing the conversation, which is the hardest thing about AI and like computers. So not just like asking them to call or make a call for you or, check the weather. And then you know how we talk now, we go off on the tangents or we branch off our conversations, being able to keep up with the conversation still without having to say, hey, Google, each time. And it knows what you're talking about still was really, really crazy. Cool.
I mean, I even thought about what if there was an algorithm to where they kind of download your personality and then, they can kind of do talking for you, like transmit to email and stuff like that. It's crazy what they can do.
Oh, they do.
They have a program that can manipulate just like a sentence, and they can like craft like another sentence completely with different words.
I like that feature because I have a Google Pixel too, and like I like that feature with like even while I'm doing something, I'll just turn on the microphone and then start saying a quick paragraph or something, and it does a pretty good job. Sometimes you still have to change a little bit, but it's really nice when texting or something like that. You just send message or whatever. Or I find myself if somebody says Google, it like I don't have to like hit the button. It just hears it and it usually goes off. I don't know how many times that's happened at work where my phone's in the desk. Somebody will say something about Google and it'll answer my phone or answer them and they're like, whoa.
It's always listening.
It's always listening and always
recording you.
Or when you get into or when you're in a heated debate and you're like, oh no, whatever. And then one of these things ends up like chiming in. So you feel like you're getting bombarded by
school. Like, wait,
so you're in a heated argument. You're like, oh,
and then it shows up in your ads.
Yo, mama, and then Yuri's like calling your mother. Like, wait a minute.
My mom cannot hear this.
Like, yo, mama, so fat.
Like your phone.
You like
knows.
I'm calling your mother.
Calling mother-in-law.
Yeah. Or Siri said your mom attacks being like, Carlos just got done talking about how fat you are.
And his phone decided to call you to tell you.
Right.
No, it should be cool.
Carlos said you were so fat you got stuck in the air. Calling emergency now. No.
No. Did you guys watch though the live? When they did it live like twice when they did the whole calling the hair salon and somewhere else or whatever, it was like, they said it was live, so I have to assume it wasn't fake. I always lean on the area of it being fake for the show, but the cool part about those things was the inflections in their voice. Like a couple times she was like, like little responses while like let me look up, and that's the first thing I thought of when they're talking about it. Well, what if they don't have an appointment at 12 o'clock? What is Google gonna do? Just hang up? Okay. Just hang up. But that was the cool part about it, where it was like, let me check, and the girl was like, okay. Like all these.
I know that was the part that I was like, oh, okay.
That's cool. Little extra bits of like conversation to keep it going.
What are those called? They're not crutches. There's a certain word for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know what those are called.
That's Google.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see you, girl.
A new thing would be like people videotaping or recording and trying to mess Google up if they realize it's a Google. I don't know if you'd be able to really realize the two voices sounded familiar, sounded like, you know, convincing and familiar as like a regular person's voice, but I would want to keep them on the line and keep talking to. Yeah. I wonder if there's exit strategies that Google sets up in the algorithm, like, okay, thanks very much, and just hangs up. He doesn't let you keep talking, and you don't get the appointment because they feel like they were slighted.
Yeah, I don't need my Google Home getting stuck on the line with a Nigerian prince for 3 hours, and I get charged overseas bills.
You call the wrong service. You're booking an appointment in like overseas.
They're also getting better at using the camera. One of the examples that they had was, I think it was a menu or something like that. It was a bunch of words, and they were able to use the camera, and then the camera turned that imagery into text. So you're able to like show the menu to your phone and then copy and paste the words. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's pretty powerful, but I don't know why copying and pasting a menu would be helpful. Maybe a band poster or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at a announcement for Ground Zero Animation Expo.
Oh yeah.
You see that? You see that? Dropping them. Dropping hints.
If you use it in a meeting or something, if you're taking a picture of something that's up on the projector or whiteboard or something.
Yeah, that's true too.
Or if you're in school, you're taking notes in class, taking notes. Now teachers can get pissed because they give a bunch of click, click, click. Like the whole class is taking pictures of them.
Right.
Who needs text?
And what else? They had what would be, and I've seen this happen. There's an app, and then Google bought the app, but you show like some signage that's in a different language, and then it'll translate it on the fly, which is amazing.
Yeah, or even like I don't know how far this is advanced, but they have those little earpieces that can translate into your language from other languages.
Yeah,
like that to me is.
If you buy the Google headphones,
yeah,
what you think about getting now? I have the AirPods now, but if you buy the Google headphones, that functionality is built in now, so you can like use it to a point, you know, and they keep iterating on it, so it's really cool.
Player, be like, hey girl, voulez-vous my telephone? Hi.
There's a bunch of different characters in that segment. This is a lot of different.
No,
I think you went from male to female, back to male
undecided.
Like it was deep voice and it got really high pitch. The word "hey" is one of the words for the shows.
Hi. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool things that are coming down the pipe for Google, which indeed then, I mean, this is a fun part of the year if you're a techno geek, because now Google had their thing. I think Microsoft is in the next couple weeks, and then I think Apple, not Apple, but I think Facebook, and then Apple, and then like Samsung, and like everybody and their mama.
It's Apple's. It's all the developer conferences, right? Like
that GDC.
Yeah, GDC was already happened.
Or not GDC. Sorry, what's that called?
E3.
It's
what is Apple's
Apple Developer Conference, Worldwide Developer Conference, WWDC. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, it's just more stuff that I look at and I'm like, that's cool. I can't afford that.
And then a new version comes up next year.
Yeah.
Right.
I was hoping they announced the phone, but I thought it was too early. I was hoping they didn't, but I think they probably won't announce it too, because some of those features come in the fall. So I'm assuming they're gonna have a new Google phone announcement, but they're gonna be pushing a lot of the new operating system in the next couple of weeks. They usually do Android P or whatever it's called. They haven't released what it's called.
Hang on. You know what? Let's see. Because I always wondered, like, let's say you had all of these guys all in the same house. I wonder if they would fight. like if there would be like a gang fight, it'd be like, hey Siri, Google Assistant said some things about you, and she'd be like, oh hell no. So I was, hey Google, what do you think about Siri?
Full respect. Being an assistant is hard work.
Politically correct. I wanted to that trick.
Pop to it.
That little dot.
English. Full respect. Respect up.
Yeah, so technology is getting there. Anything else as far as breaking news?
I don't know. We can talk about it now. Speaking of event next week, we can talk about it later.
Let's talk to Eden Sky then.
Let's do it.
What's up, fellas?
Hey guys.
Not much. Chilling. It's a great Thursday night over in Los Angeles. Not as hot as it used to be.
Yeah, it was earlier in the year. It was literally hell. Everything was, well, we were on fire up here too, but you guys,
oh yeah,
you guys were way dramatic.
Yeah,
I remember seeing the video and footage, like just the footage in general was like a volcano erupted, and I was like, what?
I mean, a lot of that was kind of just near our place too, so it was just raining ash, every other week, and I'm like, I just cleaned my car.
The world is on fire, but my car is dirty.
My car is dirty. Ash is falling from the sky and it's messing up my job.
Can't see my cell phone. That's it.
Yeah. I always laugh because it was, so up here was on fire, and then they finally controlled that, and then you guys got caught on fire. Mm-hmm. And it was like the one video that just still blows my mind was someone was driving up the 405.
Yeah.
And the hills were on fire. And at first I thought it was, okay, Hollywood, you couldn't just, that's a tasteless joke. That's horrible. And then it was for real. And I was like, well, damn.
Yeah. It was right by the Getty, I guess, too. But they have their own water system. So if anything ever did get close, it's crazy how they protect that.
They just turn it on. Sorry, we got a river.
Yeah.
LA said, hold my beer.
The amount of times it said that in the last few years, a little too many times. Maybe a little trouble.
So are you guys originally from LA?
Spencer and I are both from this town called Antioch. It's in the Bay Area. We've known each other for maybe 11 years. We actually used to be musicians before anything, in film and animation. But I moved down here maybe 2.5 years ago. Spencer's been here for what, like 5 years, 6 years?
About like 5, 6 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I moved out here in 2012.
So you guys, what was it that made you, well, Spencer, how about you? What was it that made you move down there?
It was going to college, really. Like I went to Cal State LA, and I was looking at a bunch of other places as well, and this was just like, okay, this is a cool choice. I know a few people there. I got to meet a couple of teachers, and I just enjoyed the heck out of it.
What'd you go to school for?
Film. I'm a video editor and a writer. So that's a lot of work I do.
Cool. And then Greg, what did you just come down because your friend lived down there, or?
Well, when Spencer was living in LA, I actually lived in San Diego for a year. I think this was in 2013. Then I would visit him. And I'm like, this kind of sucks. So I moved back to the Bay Area. I went back to work at Jamba Juice. I was there for a while, kind of figuring things out, and I was doing music too. And then I got a job in San Francisco with a startup. They did esports, like fantasy esports, like fantasy football and everything, but you're betting on your favorite professional gamers. And that life was so busy, and I felt kind of just constricted, and I couldn't really have that freedom that I wanted to. And I was getting into photography at the time, which I still do. And I just saved up a bunch of money, and I just quit and I just left and just, took my 97 Honda and drove down here and moved in with Spence and started this whole little studio. It's a virtual studio, but it's pretty much just in our apartment.
Nice.
But it's just like I have a part-time job. I do freelance fashion photography and then also this animated project too. And I have to keep busy and meeting people. There's a lot of work down here. It was the Bay Area was kind of like a black hole for me because there wasn't much to do, I think, in that aspect. At least like people, like like-minded people, and it was very tech-oriented, which didn't interest me at the time. But it all comes in full circle with animation. But I just had to come down here and kind of just get a network of people and experience. It's a long ass story.
No, but it makes sense. Because I agree with you. Like, the Bay Area has all kinds of tech companies, and even if they're creative, they're still on the tech end of things. So if you want to get into film and stuff like that, there's not really who's up here, like Pixar,
Lucasfilm. I think there's a few other smaller special effects studios like Whiskey Tree. They do a lot of things for Star Wars and other companies. There's a lot of small VFX houses.
I know that there's I think ILM's up there too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. ILM, Lucasfilm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Small places, right?
Yeah.
What
do they do?
If you've ever heard of them.
Yeah. But
these stars, and why are they fighting?
And there wasn't a lot of schools too that offered programs, I think, that I was interested in too, because I honestly didn't finish community college. I was just more of a motivated person and go-getter, so I kind of just went for it. But there are a few specialty schools up there, but some of them were for music. And then one was called Expression, I think, and a lot of people from Pixar teach there. They're actually right next to each other. But they were just so expensive too, and at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I didn't want to invest so much money into something I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So the chat is having this full-on conversation about grass shots.
Yeah.
Jamba Juice life.
Jamba Juice is no
hey,
joke.
man, free Jamba Juice.
Because you mentioned Jamba Juice, and there we go.
So did you guys know that there's a lot of questions that are in my brain as far as you guys teaming up and everything. When you guys first met each other, was it in school when you guys first met each other?
It was actually kind of a funny thing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I got drunk and punched him in the face.
Oh, that would be awesome, but no, it didn't happen.
It's my face on your face.
I think it all had to revolve around back to music. I think I was trying out for a band when I was maybe 15, and I was the screamer. It was a metal band, and then Spencer was trying out as bassist, and then he left early because his girlfriend wanted to hang out with him at the time. And I'm just like, well, we're probably never gonna see that guy again. and then back to Jamba Juice. Actually, my first year working there, I was probably 16, 17. He walks in with another guy who's my best friend. He's part of Edensky Studios as well, but he lives in Vegas. They came in from a jog getting something. We talked about music, and they invited me over to band practice at that same day. I'm like, I don't know these guys at all. I mean, I don't know if that's weird or not, but I guess I'll try it out. And then 10 years later, here we are. But it's just funny how Jamba Juice and music kind of
Yeah, the chat is awesome.
Those are the only good memories that I had.
Did you ever consider it Jamba Juice?
Oh.
Come on, Jack. Thank you. Yes.
Oh man,
it's been weeks.
Come on,
crickets. Yes. Yes.
You crickets are back from vacation.
So yeah, I mean, I have to give credit to Jamba Juice and my success one day.
Well, crickets are there to keep us honest.
I know. I just hold a cup in my hand, just with the sponsor,
Pour a You pour a little bit.
Whenever you receive an award, yeah, exactly. When you receive an award, you got to go on stage with one of those and pour a little out.
Pour that grass shot. Take that grass shot.
Yeah, then it doesn't pour
a little grass shot up for your dead homies.
Yeah, but I'll have wine inside of it instead.
Now you're talking. And Spencer, did you know that you wanted to be a film guy?
I knew I knew for sure that I wanted to create stuff. That was literally when I was a little kid. I wrote stories. I still have somewhere a really poorly drawn and written story about peanut butter and jelly coming to life and playing hide and seek.
We need it, Jack. We need a peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly.
I think I do the like.
That's going old school.
Now there you go.
Yeah, like, that was that was something that like just drove me to do any kind of facet. Music is a big part of my family life. So my dad's a musician. And my mom is a singer, and that was something that kind of drove a lot of where my life went. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Your mom sings?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, Greg, you should watch the show.
Yeah.
You learn so much.
So much. It's like a weird Dr. Phil. Great.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you would write stories about so your parents being musicians, I'm assuming that they understood your passion for making things and
they were
wanting to be creative.
Supportive. Yeah, they were super supportive.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
how about you, Greg? Were your parents supportive of you and your decision to move around, or were they just like, just get the hell out of my house?
They were supportive in the fact to where, you can stay with us, but you have to pay all these bills and everything too. And I mean, I didn't move out until I was 24 and a half. I don't really remember. I mean, I'm 27 now, so. But anyway, they were very skeptical because they thought that, in film and animation, they just didn't know enough about it to where like, oh, you can't make a living off of it. There were times when I tried to be a plumber, CHP, TSA, all these jobs that would have, killed me on the inside. And because, benefits, all this stuff. But, I realized that I had to, get smarter and surround myself with people who are better than me and what I'm interested in. So mentors, I have tons of mentors down here, but they were very skeptical and they didn't understand. They understand now, but but back then it was very rough kind of growing up and not, having your parents understand. They were supportive, but they didn't know what they were supportive of
right
at the moment.
They're like, baby, just find your way.
Yeah. It was just like, you can stay here. We love you, but I'm just like, well, I gotta go. I mean, I have no family down in LA, so it's kind of nice just being just me. But like I love being surrounded by other people. Totally, yeah. Even though like I still miss the Bay Area for some aspects, it's very slow up there, which I love, and there's a lot more space and parking, all that. But like I can't learn as much as I can down here.
Like the most you can learn, especially in our hometown, is like, where's the best hiking spots? Oh, that goes to the giant mountain over that direction.
Oh, yeah.
And LA is like, where's the nearest strip mall?
Yeah.
So right behind you.
Over there. But you have to wait about 3 hours, give or take.
Yeah.
See it, we just can't get to it.
Sorry, I saw a big message up there and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't important, and it's Charlie. Not that you're not important, Charles.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it in the chat here. I'm telling them, if you guys have questions in the chat, just put them in the chat. We'll be looking and we'll work into the conversation. That's what it was. There's Starbucks.
Sorry. So then decided to not just live in the same town, but you guys decided to live in the same apartment, and then you guys decided to start your own animation studio.
Yeah, we were in some small apartment in what was it, North Hill, Spence? Like across from the Budweiser Bud Light factory or something.
Yeah,
Smelled
where
like
Tommy's is?
Yeah, right across on the 405. Like it smelled like Tommy's chili and yeast or whatever it is that makes
Tommy's chili and yeast.
you know, whatever.
No,
you know,
it's-
and I, you know, I asked Spence too when I moved down. I'm like, hey, like I can't really, you know, afford rent or anything, but I had to live, you know, illegally there because I had to like avoid the landlord. I couldn't really get to know him as much, and I'm just like, can we move somewhere else? So
And I hated that apartment so much. It was so good. Like the classic first apartment, like Ghost, where you know nothing works. The water was orange.
orange Gatorade. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
I shit you not. It was excuse my language, but it was terrible.
No, good.
Oh, that's okay.
It was not a good time.
And what's funny is that's where you would call the landlord and be like, the water is dirty. It's like Gatorade, and the landlord is like, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Tastes just fine.
I was like, yeah, it's Gatorade
all the time.
Electrolytes.
But the eye whites, your eye whites are orange too. Like, what's it?
Gets you drunk faster.
You need some iron in your diet, right?
Oh,
Kicking your cocktail.
it was just not ideal, but that's where The Land Below, our first short film, was kind of spawned. Though I wanted to get out of there so bad, I'm like, let's just make something and then just like have it push us somewhere else. And I was working at Urban Outfitters at the time too. For a little bit.
So talk about motivation. Like Orange Water would motivate a lot of people just to move, but Orange Water motivated you guys to start a whole studio.
Yeah, we can trace it back to that, I guess.
That's part of the big
that.
Yeah.
I think you guys misnamed your studio. I think it should have been
Orange Water
Orange
Studios.
Gatorade.
Orange Water, yeah.
Orange Water Works.
Oh, there you go.
Orange fluid.
Oh, gosh.
No.
That makes me feel a little
Yes.
Orange moisture.
Oh, God, stop.
That word in itself.
Orange Mist.
Go.
We should just use the whole apartment complex for like Orange Mist Groves.
Orange liquid.
Why does the water taste like Tang?
Everyone doesn't know what Tang is.
Very gritty.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's like, you call it Tang, I call it water.
Seriously.
Nectar of the gods.
Oh, Noel said, at least it wasn't yellow. It was orange.
I don't know if that's an
It was orange. It was.
I think that's worse.
Well, you know,
By the
I
time
guess
you
it depends.
I mean, was it warm?
I have a good joke, but it's going to be political, and I don't know if we want to go that deep that quick. Okay, so here we go.
Thank you.
What if the water that you were supposed to drink, but you actually threw away, actually formed into our current president?
Wrong.
Thank you guys. Get the
credit
for that.
Like in a waste yard somewhere.
Yeah.
Over.
We'll chalk that up to fake news. So what? At what point did you guys realize that you guys were onto something? Or actually, before we go there, what made you guys think that you guys could work together?
I think when it comes down to it, I mean, I don't know, Spencer, you might have your own opinion, and I might be finding out for the first time too. But I think it's just
Spencer's like, I don't know. He's super lazy.
He's like, I fucking hate him.
Literally everywhere for 3
I
weeks.
don't even know you anymore. But let's see what he says.
Your mom sings. I think it's just our chemistry together. Like, we've known each other for so long, and when we get in arguments, they're more of just like, constructive, conversations. They're not like, we don't really hate what we're saying. We don't even hate it all. It's like, if there's a problem, we attack the story or whatever it is, but we don't attack each other. And I think that's the key to, because we live together and we know each other for so long, but it's the same as maybe, like a band touring for so long with, their friends. It's kind of like that same, you just have to work with it. There's friendship, and then also, business partner, all this stuff. And there's always something new going on. We're always learning about each other, but
you guys could have went full Fleetwood Mac. I don't know how you pulled that off, but you could have.
Yeah.
So when you started the Mamas and the Papas, so then at some point you guys brought on a young man by the name of Joe von der Linden.
That's a fake name.
Solid pronunciation.
Joe Von D is what
Last
goes
name
by.
there.
Yeah, we call him Von D. Joe Von D.
That was after
Last name on him.
what was that show? Jersey Shore. I think he got it. He just made up his name like that.
He's a situation.
Yeah.
AKA the Van.
But they don't call him the situation because it was already taken, so they call him the moment.
Big moment.
Yes, Jack!
Just to let you know.
I heard that.
Just to let you know, now it's on. Now it's on. Have those crickets on speed dial because it's coming.
They're just
fast
one button away.
The best part about that was
You're gonna try and get him now.
what you know what he's gonna do? He's just gonna stare. He's not gonna give you the satisfaction of giving the crickets.
Oh no! Now I want.
So lose.
Now I want crickets. Now I want to walk into the Costco of crickets.
No, because you're gonna say something weird, and the silence is gonna be deadly. He's gonna stare and be like, "I'm gonna let you hang."
Even more than the
Quietness.
bombs I've been dropping
Just
all day.
quietness.
All right, so Joe Von D shows up, and you guys, where did you guys meet Joe?
Same story. Back to Jamba Juice. He was with Spencer the same day. I met them because I ringed them up. I even remember what drinks they got.
He met over grass.
That's
shots.
amazing.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, you want to try this grass shot?" It's really
I'll have a wheatgrass juice with a side of Cold Buster.
People put
Wait,
that shit
isn't
in
that-
their drink, so.
They do, right?
Cold Buster is my go-to when I go to Jamba Juice.
They actually changed that name. I think it's called like the immunity booster or so. I don't know. It's something stupid.
They get in trouble.
Probably.
I drink this for every day for a week to that code.
It's Cold Buster for me.
Anyway.
Even to this day, I'll walk in there and order a Cold Buster. If you don't know what I want, call the manager.
Berry Lime Sublime, though, is my favorite. That's an old example.
No, I've never been a Jamba Juice person. You guys are speaking French right now.
Oh, wait, because if you don't know what we're talking about, then let me let you in on a little secret.
Uh-oh.
All Jamba Juices have a secret menu, because you can order a Starburst. They don't have that up on the wall. They have it behind the counter. Fruity Pebbles. Come on, son, get up on your Jamba
Captain
Juice.
Crunch.
I'm
Reese's Pieces, which has carrot juice.
Wait, what did you say?
What is it?
So
What is it called?
Reese's Pieces.
Oh.
It's like soy milk, matcha green tea powder, carrot juice, and frozen yogurt, I think. And then
Toenail clippings and.
I upped the game and I added granola in there and made it Butterfinger. So for texture.
Does it taste like a Butterfinger, or is this like the orange water type of thing?
No, it actually does.
Orange water tastes like whatever you want it to taste like, Jack.
It doesn't make sense, but
Yo, I am really not up on Jamba Juice. I think I missed
Dustin
that train.
Pike. Dustin Pike said,
Okay.
white gummy bear.
Heck yeah.
Look at all these people with their internet.
See, Eva heard it. Read the chat. I just didn't say it.
Said, do you have racist?
That's what I heard. I didn't say anything. I was just like, obviously, no one else heard it like I heard. Read the chat had my back because I was like, wait, what?
racist.
He's like, I heard it, Charlie.
So good.
Oh man, chat's amazing to me.
I'm gonna have fun watching.
You
You're like, wait,
I didn't want to be triggered. I was just gonna be like, okay, cool. Obviously, that's not what we'll say.
So Spencer and Joe walk into Jamba Juice and they ordered 2 extra large white powers.
But you gotta.
No. And I'm probably not like that thick.
Joe, when Jack laughs out loud, you know.
It comes with a napkin over the straw.
We're all going to hell tonight. I agree.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
You guys nowhere.
Gummy. There's the green gummy. Like, I'm not. Those were just unmentioned.
Yo, I never understood like the whole purpose of like the
You guys are a problem to have on the show. Nice. I think I need to go visit the Jamba Juice.
No, they won't allow you in.
Dustin said that I am for sure going to hell. Yes, with my eyes wide open.
Wait, what?
You've never heard that?
So Pacific, yeah, no.
I used to work at Blue Cross in downtown Chicago.
Yeah, okay.
And I used to just be a goofball there. And this older black lady, she goes, "Child, you going to hell with your eyes wide open."
Sound like somebody.
So I'm gonna see the entire trip.
Yo. She probably said that to you after working with you for a good year.
That was it. That was it. She's like, "You've only been here for 45 minutes, and I can tell."
There's something wrong with you.
Oh no.
Okay, so no, let's be serious. I'm trying to keep this show on track.
Really?
And you guys with your interferences.
I'll just say smoothie joint.
Okay, so you guys met Joe, and then what's Joe's story? Or do you guys even know?
Yeah.
We just started.
You guys should listen to this podcast.
Even
find out.
Joe's gonna be like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I gotta shoot him this link when we're done. So Joe went to the same high school as Spencer. I went to a high school in a neighboring town. And Joe, he's always been into video games and always on the newest technology crazes too. But right now he's in Vegas. He's been there for about 7 years. He works in the hotel industry. It's, he's getting kind of, bored with it a little bit. And so he's like, you know what? Like, you guys are working on animation. Let's make some games. Let's do some VR, because he loves VR.
Yeah.
So his background, yeah. So he's in Vegas, and all he's doing is working in the hotel. And he's like, you know what? Like, we should probably focus on games, because he wants to be out of that eventually. And his story. He was also in a band with us too, with Spencer. But, yeah.
So he's on the creative end of things as well.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But he's very analytical and on the business end too. He's very great at that.
Nice.
He's also funding us a little bit too. He's a great friend. He's a great guy.
So now you guys have this cool team of friends that got together and decided to create your own studio. How did you guys go into it with an idea and you built the studio around the idea, or did you guys first build the studio and then brainstormed and tried to get an idea going?
I think it was the other way around. We kind of, like the original short film, The Land Below, that was made in the Orange Water apartment. My friend and I, before I moved, we talked about this concept, and she lives in Michigan, and she's an animator, great storyteller through animation. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the short on YouTube called Overcomer. It's like the short animated. It got a lot of views on YouTube, like over 5 million or something like that. Wow. Just throwing it out there if you guys have ever seen it. But it was a class project. But,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
She was like, yeah, let's do like this 5-minute animated piece called Land Below, and it ended up being 18 minutes. And she animated the whole thing. I did all the sound design. We had a composer from England that she knew that did the scoring, and I incorporated live action into it because I'm like, let's have this be experimental since I do live action. And you know, I got such a good high off of that. Like, I actually finished a project that took almost a year to do. And I'm like, you know what, like, let's just keep this rolling, but like, let's go bigger and bigger. Let's put a roof over this and then do it better next time, better quality, more help this time too. I feel so bad. Like, Hannah just, she wanted to shoot herself by the end of it. I'm like, we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. And we had a successful Indiegogo from that too, from a lot of our friends down here. And we plan to do that again in the future too, when we're done with our short right now. But that's kind of like how it happened in a short way.
Nice.
I was waiting for one of the guys. So what were some of the really important lessons that you learned in your first go round? Because let's go ahead and, generally speaking, people who have done a project, they say start small, start with a 30-second, start with a minute, something like that. You guys decided to just cannonball into a cold pool.
Yeah.
So describe that experience, and then what are some of the things that you might do a little bit different
or plan on doing?
Yeah, totally. I mean, at that time, too, Spencer, he wasn't too involved in that project at the time, but I mean, Spencer has observed a lot of it. So, Spence, if you have anything too, something that I may have not seen, but a lot of it was kind of just managing my time really well, and also like just I had to live that project. I had to become that project because I'm someone who likes to get stuff done and finished. And there's a lot of people that I talk to. They have these great ideas. They write them down. They have everything they need, but it's just like, then why don't you just do it? You know? So I just kind of wanted to make a point just to go for it. But I think what I learned definitely was time management, and then I just had to live the project. I had just the focus. Every spare minute that I had to do that. But it also took a toll on, like sleeping and health and all this stuff too, because I was so new at that schedule. I would always be up late writing this, the script out, revising it. But we believed in the story that much to do it. But it was just it's a mental strain, I'll say that much. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Yeah.
How about you, Spencer? What was it like for you?
I mean, for the most part, when it came to like the pre-production stuff, I was literally just in the apartment hearing their conversations. That was like the extent of that for me. But when we got rolling in production, I was operating the camera. I was really heavily in like the live action part, and it was. I didn't sleep for 24 or 48 hours. I don't know. I didn't sleep one night, and
He's like, that's it, I quit.
I don't sleep anymore. I quit on sleeping. No, but it was just it was so exhausting. It was so much fun. We were super into what we were doing, and it like you were saying, like budgeting the time, making sure we have everything set. I was basically AD on the set, and figuring out everything and timing, and so we don't run out of sunlight.
Yeah, and another thing with budgeting is budgeting money that, you know, so many people have graciously offered you. It's like, okay, so these people have given us, you know, their money to fund our project. You know, where can we responsibly put this money to, you know, allocate certain areas of the project to where, you know, like we can get the best quality we want and the shortest amount of time. Learning that was probably the hardest. You know, that taught me a lot of business ethic. And a lot of production, I feel like, is 90% talking and then 10% doing. Because, I mean, I had to cast for voice actors. I've never had to do that before. I had to do that while I was at work. I would have to go into the bathroom just to talk to people. I had to do so many things to, like, you know, to answer people. And it's so funny to think about, but all those little minute things, I think communication is key. And that's something that I'm always going to have to get better at. I think that's even for major studios too. Like, no matter how big you are, you have to be communicative. Everyone has to be on the same page. And I try to accustom, you know, everyone's different work styles. And I try to talk to them to how they best understand their work and style. So that's another thing. Like, there's so many little elements like that I look forward to in the details of production.
So how big was this first team that you built?
3 people.
3?
Well, I would say 3 main people, but for the live action, like Spencer was saying, you know, he did a lot of the assistant directing, script supervising, and then for the live action, I had some people kind of help with wardrobe and little things like that. But I would just say technically 3.
How'd you incorporate the live action with the rest of the project?
You know, my animator, I think she used, was it Toon Boom, Photoshop, and some other like After Effects. I think she used like 3 programs, but still, like, she used Photoshop for a lot of that stuff, which blows my mind. But you know, I have a Canon DSLR that I use for my photography, and I'm like, let's just go to some random camping spot area, you know, near Los Angeles, and let's shoot this thing. It was like a 12-hour shoot because we had to wait for, you know, certain times, you know, of the day for the sun to be in the right place, and we were all tired and hot. Our sandwiches got soggy, so we had to put them on the grill to dry them up like toast.
And there was that swarm of like bugs just was not leaving.
God.
Oh, that was nuts.
That was a fun day, but we learned a lot when it comes to, you know, actually going out and, you know, when you meet with people, it's just like, okay, how can we be best prepared with gear and what we're going to talk about so we don't waste anyone's time and all of that too. I don't know if I'll ever be doing that again anytime soon, but you know, I just best keep that to my photography.
one of the best lessons learned. Live action animation is the hardest thing to mix.
Totally. Yeah, because I was like, how did you guys see that?
Oh, you haven't watched Carlos's cartoon karaoke? It's super easy.
I saw the thumbnails to that. I have yet to watch it. I'll do that tonight.
Yeah. Get your earplugs.
Yeah.
Earplugs.
One part you need to listen to.
No, he means earplugs.
Put on it, yeah, no. Go ahead and put on your, like, you can watch it, but then put on and like maybe listen to Enya or something. Something that's going to make you forget that just happened to you.
You're pitching it real well.
Wow, you're going in right now.
On myself. Yeah. No, it's crazy that you guys got together and decided on your first project was going to turn into this 18-minute thing.
I don't know, dude. It just happened.
Epic.
I remember reading the original script, and it was way longer than that. And it's like, yeah, we got to cut it down.
Yeah, it was like maybe 20.
They were like a 2-hour movie before they started.
You know, it started as a feature at first, but there, you know, as an idea, not really to do it. But then we're like, let's just make this like, you know, just like pitch material. That's what it was originally, and it still kind of is, I guess, too. But I look at it as a learning curve.
Yeah.
So I've had no production experience, so we kind of just I had to figure a lot of this out myself and talk to people, and a lot of YouTube University. Just saying, like that was what I had to look forward to, and then just. But the thing is, I didn't want to be too heavily influenced either. You know, I like being inspired, and I aspire to be things, but I can't be too heavily influenced to where, you know, I want to build my own techniques to make it unique. And, you know, I try not to watch too many movies or TV shows, but it's hard not to. You got to keep up.
So many good things,
right? And that's where you learn even on accident. And Spencer, you can chime in on this. One of the things that I'm assuming that they told you in film school was go ahead and watch good movies and bad movies so you can see what you like about it. So then that way you can do that or investigate the way you'd want to do that versus making mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's definitely something that I was taught. It kind of blew my mind at first. You know, you never see movies the same way again once you know how the pieces fit together.
Yeah, but, I can see that.
Yeah, you can't flip the switch off. It's just there.
You're
like, well, I see that edit.
Yeah.
But yeah, my brain just went over that way. I'm sorry. But yeah.
All good.
It's yeah, sorry, my brain really did just fart.
Well, I mean, as far as watching different films to help like sharpen your tool as far as filmmaking.
Yeah, like sometimes even in like bad films, you'll see something that you can like, I can rework this to be something cool in something else.
Yeah.
Or you can even see like a certain movie that's bad, but you see a good movie that does that same thing better. And you can kind of try to understand how that happened.
Yeah, totally. Even one thing that I think even you told me, Spence, you know, you guys would watch movies on mute. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm very influenced by the 1950s and 40s, like the cinema back then. That's my favorite genre of film is classic films because we can learn so much from their techniques and stuff still. You know, like my first goal is to make, you know, the first like animated short or feature that plays like a classic film almost. I think that would just like complement the medium well. But anyway, you know, there's so many things that you can learn from both ends. You know, there's networking with school, but you can also network at mixers and everything else on the side. There's no right or wrong. It's subjective.
Or you can meet a lot of really important people there at Ground Zero Animation Expo.
Ground Zero.
GZAExpo.com. Just gonna go ahead and throw that out there.
Looking forward to that.
Do you think? Because I personally have a handful of friends that live down in the LA area that Mike Racanelli, who has been on the show before, he kind of did what you guys are doing, where he was just like, well, if I'm going to work on anything, I might as well work on my own stuff. So he started making his own stuff. And all of a sudden he won some film award for a short that he did and all this wonderful stuff. Anyway, all that to say, I was bragging about my friend.
Yeah.
Name dropper. But do you guys think it's the energy in LA that let you guys get to that point to be able to create your project? Or do you guys think you would have been able to do it if you still lived here in the Bay Area?
I think it's 100% LA for me, at least.
It definitely is a good motivator, just being in a different space in general. Like that was the biggest change that helped, I think, both of us just go towards a better creative mindset, was just being in a completely new space. Like completely foreign, and it just helped kind of see everything differently.
Yeah, and you know, it's like moving to a new area while being young still. It's like, you know, I'm finding myself, and I think for me the best way I find myself is through my work and how, you know, how I surround myself with people too. That was probably, I mean, I owe it all to the people I know right now down here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. You know, I had a online mentorship when I was in the Bay Area. And I would go to a couple of creative conferences down here. And I remember after, it was like the second conference, I just quit my San Francisco job the day after. I was in Spencer's apartment that I would soon be living in, the Orange Water. And I was just like, you know what, this feels right. It's all about intuition and your gut instincts, I think, too. Which it's hard to listen to your own advice, your own instincts, but like sometimes like you just have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I saved up a certain amount of money and I blew it all, but it's like, you know, because it's expensive down here, but you know, that it's sacrifice too, I think.
Yeah.
Right. But here's a spoiler alert. It doesn't matter. You're gonna blow it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at least
keeping at it after that happens.
Yeah. I mean, how many times do you see a T-shirt that said, "I went to this thing and it was super dramatic and the only thing I got was a stupid T-shirt," right? So you blew your money, but at least you have the land below, right?
Yeah. They were I look at it as investments, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
And one cup of coffee got me through the next day of writing the script. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. Yeah. So then Eva, she's asking, what do you plan on doing with the land below next? Well, right now we kind of want to take the concept from the original short film and we want to turn it into a series. We're changing the character designs 100%, you know, like 360. The story's changing. We want to do a micro series online, and we kind of want to do, you know, crowdfunding eventually. We just got finished with the storyboard animatics too, and we're getting it scored right now. But we kind of want to put it online, see, you know, what reaction or following we get. Most of all, just critiques from people. And you know, I would love it to be, you know, on Netflix or some major platform one day, but you know, like the focus is like if the product is good, everything else is gonna, you know, take care of it from there. So, but we definitely want to do like a micro series, like maybe 4-minute episodes, because it's faster and cheaper on us to make, especially.
Right.
And writing short stories is kind of challenging rather than writing, you know, we had to condense a 22-minute script into 3 episodes. Like that, like it took Spencer and I maybe 6 months just to write a 4-minute script to get it to where we want. Because if we're going to talk about it for a year and work on it, like I want it to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that's where we plan for it to go, is online first.
Nice.
Yeah. And then you'll be able to see some at Ground Zero Expo.
Ooh.
What?
See how many times we can say it.
That's super cool. I wanted to talk about a little bit more about these mentors that you keep bringing up.
Yeah.
How do you find a mentor?
Well, yeah, that's a great, I think it's different for everybody too. You know, like in Spencer's case, it could be a professor, you know, a teacher, you know, older students who maybe have more experience. And I mean, Spencer, you can answer that too, if you want.
Like for the longest time, I kept in contact with them, and then
yeah, and
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, okay. Like when, like my cousin, he's been at Pixar for over 15 years, and he knew this guy named Noah Elias. He goes by Noah Fine Art. He does a lot of Disney airbrushing for Disney. Sorry, that was redundant. He does a lot of Disney airbrushing, and he has a lot of his own personal works, but he held this online mentorship. So through that, I kind of got to know him a bit more, you know, how we can turn our work, you know, to make it profitable, how we can communicate better as artists and collaborate especially. And that's where I got this this idea from. And his online mentorship is called Noah University. So from there, I went to these events in SoCal just these creative conferences, I just talked to people, and one was, you know, a retired Imagineer who's a great friend of mine, and it just kind of spun off to other people that I kind of kept in contact with, and who are just much older and wiser, and who can, you know, kick my teeth in, and you know, keep me grounded. Like that's what, you know, I need sometimes. But that was my avenue, was just kind of just talking to people and asking who they knew. It's all about asking questions, I think, for the most part.
That was definitely one of the biggest things that one of my teachers that became my mentor throughout my entire college and a little bit after life. Like she was like, ask any questions you want. Never be afraid to ask. Never be afraid to say you don't know something.
Yes,
that is going to save you so much time in the long run. And that made a lot of stuff easier for me, because it was just like, all right, cool. I don't know it. Let's figure it out.
Yeah. And I think that goes, I mean, I think that's a really good piece of advice, and not even just for now when you're, you know, starting out, but I mean, through your entire career in life. I mean, I've worked with people who've effectively made it, but that's not to say that, you know, you're not going to get in a situation where you are trying something new or supervising something new, or, you know, and one of the biggest mistakes you can do is pretend like you know what you're doing and not doing. I mean, obviously you need a certain sense of confidence, and there's the fake it till you make it type of thing. But, you know, to go into a situation and basically lie your way through it and talk down to people and pretend your way through it is kind of a recipe for disaster, not just for you, but generally for the project.
Yeah. I can, especially on our level too, you know, we can't pretend or fake anything, because there's going to be a moment to where it's going to show later and it's going to hurt us.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like I try to read as many Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks books, anything, to kind of get different perspectives, you know, because each studio has their thing. And then even smaller studios too. So I'm just like, what can I pull from these people that I find like inside myself? And same with Spencer, we're constantly sending each other you know, different artists, and we have certain playlists when we work on things. Like we're inspired by a lot of like cinematic like movie scores and stuff, you know. But yeah, like what you were saying, it's some people can really get ahead of themselves sometimes, or get an ego because they love their product too, and you can see that through their work too. And I completely agree, and I try to catch myself on a lot of these things, and because, you know, I've never had that real studio experience, like that mold. So especially for me, it's just like, you know, I got to talk to people who have been it or are in it, and you know, I need that advice. You know.
And I think it's important to for people to realize that if you're working with a team and you're fake it till you're making it, they're going to eventually figure that out.
Right.
And you're probably going to lose a bit of respect versus just saying, you know, give me 5 to 10 minutes. I don't exactly know, but let me find out.
Yeah.
Just humility and truthfulness goes a long way.
Yeah. Honesty.
And especially kind of how you guys are getting this thing going, and everything is cool, and especially in somewhere like LA where there's so many people in the industry, in that very industry, they'll be able to call you out on your BS.
Yeah.
Kind of just super fast.
Yeah, totally. You know, it's one thing that I've tried to do too is kind of, you know, I look for people who can teach me something. Like, yeah, like it'd be great, you know, if I can teach them something, but, you know, someone who, we're talking to a few people. I mean, we're still looking for animators really, but I'm trying to find people who can teach me more of what they do, and so I can understand the lingo, all of that, because you can only learn so much by like talking to someone who kind of has experience doing it or online. But someone who's actually doing it, I want to know how I can give the best notes possible. You know, there's so many things that go into it, and you know, it's just a never-ending learning curve. But
are you guys?
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, are you guys looking for 2D or 3D people?
2D. This is going to be a 2D series for sure.
Cool.
And we're all for experimenting with, certain styles. We have turnarounds done of like, what we want the art to look like. We're going to be releasing that stuff later, but we're just looking for 2D artists at the moment.
Cool. You know where you might be able to find some? Ground Zero Animation Expo. GZAExpo.com.
You just need like a graphic that just pops up and it just sparkles.
Exactly.
It's got to sparkle though.
Or like a little. We have to develop a little 2D animation of Eva running by with the billboard.
Do that. That'd be amazing.
So then you guys are working on The Land Below. Is there anything else that you guys have? What do they plan on doing? It's like an SNL skit. Golden glitter.
Golden glitter.
That's so good. Actually, before we go there, how did you guys find out about Ground Zero Animation Expo? GZAExpo.com.
Say it again.
Say it one more time.
GZAExpo.com.
Now say it with your chest.
June 19th.
What you know about Ground Zero Animation Expo? We're gonna learn today.
Learn. Say it with your
Word. I know this incredible artist and story person. She's actually helped with our story right now for The Land Below. Her name's Cassie Soliday.
Oh yeah, she's been on the show.
Yeah, Cassie.
She's so cool.
Yeah, I actually met her at one of those creative conferences, going back to being surrounded by a lot of those creative people. She had us on her Ink and Paint Girl podcast one time for Hannah and I, and then after that, I think Eva was looking for a videographer, photographer, someone just to document the event. And then she asked me, I'm like, hell yeah, like that sounds fun. This is like my first kind of small event that I've done out here. So I had a blast both days doing it, and Eva, of course, is wonderful. And then that's just kind of how it happened. And then this time around, like I didn't think about being in it next year, but then we were kind of, we had a lot of material this time around. I'm like, Eva, can we just like, have a booth? I've never done this before. I want this experience. I want to know what it's like to like actually engage with people and talk about our project and see what other people are doing and just be inspired. So yeah, Eva.
Spencer, did you ever think that you would have a table or you'd be sponsoring a animation expo?
Not like if you would tell me I would be doing that like a year or so ago. Definitely my brain would be like, wait, hold on, this is happening.
Yeah, right?
What? I actually booked out a few of my friends at Quixotic. Their name is Quixotical. I think that's their studio name. They did a thing at VRLA just this last week. Last week.
Oh.
And that was a whole experience in its own right. And just seeing how that goes, I'm like, oh, now I'm excited for.
Well, because you had like how many people working at your booth running around too?
Oh God, there were so many people. There was like a solid like 15, 20 people, like not even joking.
Wow.
It was that's one way to make a presence at a convention, is to have everyone wear the same exact T-shirt and just run around and do stuff.
Do that, Carlos. Do that.
Yeah, we're making little production team shirts too, but there's only gonna be 4 of us, I think, too. And then we'll probably go to Disneyland after.
Because it's Disneyland, why not?
Yeah.
That's funny. I've never been to Disneyland. I've driven past it thousands of times. I've just never been.
Whoa. That's the only one I've been to. I've never been to any of the other Disney
Parks
things. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been to Jamba Juice?
Well,
Yeah.
When I was there, I actually went there. I met this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him, Gregory Lawson.
There is one Jamba Juice I will never go to. It's the Jamba Juice Downtown Disney. That's just
Shade. Why? What's going on?
Out of nowhere. Downtown Disney. Jamba Juice.
I'm just kidding. I mean,
getting
it's
real.
that happiest place on earth that has a Jamba Juice, so why not?
I bet you that Jamba Juice has a crazy hidden menu.
The smell has never changed. Like that place has the same smell, and it just brings back so many memories.
Can you like not drink Jamba Juice, like juices that are smoothies at all?
I mean, I still remember the recipes and the measurements and all that, so I'll try to like make my own at home, like protein drinks or something. But like
that's it. I'm bringing my Vitamix.
You can't get that quality taste like Jamba Juice has. Like, so I'm probably just gonna go tomorrow. I'll just send you guys a picture or just me holding it. Like Eva should be sponsored too. They should just have a Jamba Juice catering there. Why not?
So looks like Eva's placing an order for Black Angus and White Starburst. What is she?
Starburst. Is there a drink called Black Angus? What is in that?
They take a steak and they just.
Oh, she used to work. She said that's how Black Angus was for me.
Oh, now I see. Okay.
Yeah,
barbecue sauce, steak, and
I feel like I've missed so much, but not with the Jamba Juice culture.
You got to get in on this, Charlie.
Jamba Juice is good times.
I'm missing secret lingo.
Right.
I mean, you got Starbucks.
I'm getting all other kind of things. Hopping in the head here.
So where are you guys going next with this whole thing? Are you guys looking to be Disney? Are you looking to be Netflix?
Yeah, that's a good question. Those are definitely those thoughts I have while driving in traffic. You know, I was thinking about it like, you know, whatever happens, but you know, I would just love just this, you know, make products and just have people be inspired. And I think where it goes, you know, obviously finding a platform that I think kind of fits into what I think my product should. Mm-hmm. You know, like Netflix is great. I mean, I'm all for original content and everything, and they support a lot of indie people too, like Hulu, Amazon. We were going to submit for Amazon, but I think recently they actually just took down their public submission on their site.
Really?
Yeah.
Any reason why?
I mean, I think my belief is that with all these newer, you know, like Netflix getting larger and everything too, I think they have their own pool of writers or something. You know, I just think they're pulling their information from somewhere else. I mean, I don't know what the issue could have been. It could have been just an overload of you know, stuff that didn't work. Maybe it wasted their time and money. Yeah, right. But it's just like I love that. I love how they allowed open submission. I thought that was really cool. Even if like you didn't get picked. Yeah. But back to your question, Carlos. I have no idea. I think it's just taking it year by year, and you know, just, you know, we're gonna be our own brand until, you know, otherwise. But I would like this to be, you know, a full-time thing one day, and you know, but you just have to grind it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of Artella?
Yes, that's where we use some of our artists from. Love it.
Oh.
Cool. And I mean, perfect timing, because Eva's message says, how have you been finding your concept artists? Yeah,
I would say word of mouth, and then maybe the rest of it, like 75%, was Artella. I think that platform is what is and was ahead of its time. It's founded by an ex-Pixar employee who also will take the time to talk to you about the platform and your project and go over plans and goals.
In the world, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. He helped us get the concept for doing micro episodes. Like, I owe that idea to him. I thought that was very smart. But Artella, like, I'm constantly getting people talking to me, and I love seeing their art. And, you know, it's for video games, animation. I think there's like a third genre they offer. Was it music or something? I don't remember.
I think it was music, because I remember there being the big music portion, I think.
Yeah, but like I just, you know, I don't know. I think that company's ahead of their time, and I think it's only going to get bigger.
I agree. I'm a big fan of that and Bobby Beck is his name.
Bobby Beck, yes.
He's been the same way for years. I remember when I went to SIGGRAPH in 2004, and that's when they first announced it, and they had like a cookout out across the street from the convention theater, like in that parking lot. I don't know if the parking lot's still there, but it was an empty parking lot at the time, and they had like a cookout to meet everybody, and like just had people coming up, and he would talk to everybody.
Oh, I love that.
But he would have to be tired after all that, because he said, 1 second, I'll get right to you. I'll talk to you about this, and, you know, and like, was this the most personable? Him and Carlos
Baena? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Both of those guys are awesome dudes.
What was the? I'm blanking on the convention name. It was held in Burbank, but they had a booth there.
CTN?
Yeah, CTN. Yeah, he had a booth there, and I wanted to go stop by. I never got to go, but I was like, I wanted to meet him. You know, I've only done FaceTime, but you know, there's always next year. Or geez, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
If he comes to Ground Zero Animation Expo, gzaexpo.com. Yeah, that's. I have an account on Artel, and I've been like looking around and just like being nosy and stuff, and not gonna lie, I posted a cartoon karaoke thing on my portfolio, and when Bobby wrote, "Hey, that's pretty cool," I was like, yeah.
Get on the featured page. I was flipping out when he put us on the featured page, and you know the carousel. I'm like, that to me is as little as it is. It was just like that. It was this real thing, but and then that's when a lot of people would contact, you know, and were interested, and that was a good feeling.
Yeah. And now, what was that experience like? Like, did you have to reach out to people, or when you started your project, did that actually just snowball into a lot of really important relationships?
I think it was, sorry, I think it was a little bit of both. It's mostly just you talking yourself, like reaching out to people. Like some people may see your work, but I feel like, you know, someone might value your work more if they get to know you. You know, I see a lot of artists and stuff too. Like I know their art and I can kind of get a sense of who they are, but I don't know who they are, you know, like from a face to a voice, and that there's a lot of like disconnect too. So like I try to, you know, at least be more engaging with people, and like how Bobby was going out and just talking to people, whoever he could. Like that's like what you have to do, I think, at least for the most part. But you know, of course, people come to you, and you might get lucky either way. But definitely reaching out.
Is this site still having pretty good momentum in terms of like the community and the base of people still posting and looking for stuff?
It's kind of slowed down. I think I uploaded this project. Oh gosh, Spence, do you remember? It was like November, October.
It was like, oh man. Is there a way to look it up? I don't know off the top of my head.
Actually, just
look it up. The reason why I asked is because like that's like one of the hard things about, you know, having a sites like this, and we keep talking about it here on the show, because I think people keep going over to it, putting their name, putting their stuff up, and if somebody actually looks in their message and see that they're getting people contacted from the site, we can keep it going, since it is such a good thing, and since it is such a good resources for people who have projects and starting projects and stuff like that. Because I think they have something really nice. I feel like it's designed really well. It feels good when you're walking around the site, if you will. It's just keeping people on it. So I tell people about it all the time that are starting projects. Go post a project up there, use their resources and stuff.
Yeah, and
having that foresight.
Totally, and I think
projects.
Yeah, and I think like what's a game changer too is how you can store assets and share, and you know, draw on certain frames for notes. I think that's killer. That eliminates. I mean, I use Slack for my communication for the most part, but like I love how you can kind of just have a conversation next to your notes. I think some major studios, they use like certain programs where they can share files and, you know, like watch it live with each other if it's like a video or something. Like Disney has similar stuff. But I think Artel is a great platform for people just starting out. Like, there's no wrong you can do by using that. It's a great way to kind of practice those methods of building your project and your dream.
For sure.
Spencer, what was your experience like?
Sorry. I was looking at Artel, trying to figure out the date. It was about 2 years ago.
Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
It doesn't have the date. I found it, but it doesn't. It doesn't have the date.
Last edited. I think what causes traffic to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Spence.
No. Please go ahead.
I think back to answer the other question too. I think what causes traffic as well is kind of just posting positions, kind of changing it so people kind of see, that it's just not just stagnant. I think changing it and updating it is good too.
Keep it active for sure.
That is definitely a big play in everything especially with platforms like that. You have to keep active.
And that's a trick when you're doing like the crowdfunding platforms too, right? I mean, Carlos, you've done one on Kickstarter, and you guys have been on. It's like being active on there so that people feel like you're working on it, even though you're working on the project because it's such a big undertaking.
Yeah.
The other side of it's like being active on these other sites to keep the appearance of like, yeah, I'm here, I'm working. Thanks for donating or whatever. I think it would be the same way when you're looking for people on these type of sites being active.
Yeah, I think it's just like how do you pitch, like how can we pitch this project in one sentence? Like that scares me because I'm like I have so much love for this, but how can I condense all this in like one sentence? And how can I have people pay like their own money to support this? And I've seen some crazy Kickstarters. Like that's a whole another study in itself. Like people have like really crazy videos and so much blurbage. They have really cool perks, which I think when it comes down to it, like, do I love the story and like, can I see myself supporting this? You can have the biggest value ever, but I think, if their goals are great and, their reasoning and that's one other thing.
So what are like, what's a good pep talk that you guys can give? I was about to say some younger animators, whatever, but I mean, the pep talk would be for older folks too. What would you guys say for people that have an idea and they don't really know where to go? They have an idea. What's the pep talk that you guys would give them?
I think the biggest one is, okay, a lot of people will say, just do it. But then people are like, how? That's the question, like, how can I do this? So I think you need to find people, like-minded people that believe in your dream. And I think just collaboration, finding people that will help you build that, write it out, take your time with it. Constantly communicate with these people, and of course people might ask like, how do I find people? Well, now there's Artella and Craigslist, wherever the heck people want to find people. But I think it's just kind of just reaching out for help, honestly. I think is like the most single key advice I can give.
Meeting people, biggest thing that will help anyone in almost any facet is just meeting as many people as you can. You'll find people that you like, you'll find people that you don't like, and they'll all inspire you in different ways. And it could be super helpful. It could be like in like a certain aspect or something that's not even related to what you're doing, but it still alleviates the stress that you would have normally if you didn't meet that person.
Yeah, like there are days like, Spence, I can't do this, and we're yelling at each other from across the room, and he's in the other room right now too. I'm just like, can you do this? Like, I know you're playing games, but like, can you do this really quick? You know what I mean? Like, that's just, you have to make it fun and interesting too when you're working with people, and there's so many factors.
Cool. And I'm assuming you guys are still enjoying what you're doing.
Every day. I wake up first thinking about, wow, I can't wait to work on this, after I get back from work.
It's one of those things where you, like, when you're at work also, you're like thinking about it. That's all you can think about.
I I still like find my time, like my moments, like, okay, well, I'm busy, so I'm just gonna go to the bathroom and message this person back. Like, you know, like, 'cause I'm a very urgent communicator sometimes. So I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna forget this in a little bit. This is really good. I'm just gonna write this. And
Man, you're doing voice interviews in the bathroom. Your boss must.
Oh, dude,
you got like bowel syndrome.
Just drinking.
You leave immediately and go right back.
The boss is like, he must have got the fiber boost.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not working at Jump Juice right now, but that would be a damn good one.
Nice to know you're probably right from your John. Yeah.
I mean, some of the best ideas come from just hanging out in the bathroom.
I mean, there's a lot of ideas. How many times have you been either just about to fall asleep or taking a shower or something, somewhere where your brain is turned off, and that's where the ideas flow in?
Yeah. Like, what's your guys' methods for, you know, you guys have a great idea whether you're at work or you're, you know, sitting on the toilet or something like that. Like, what? Like, where do you find your most creative spaces? I'll put it that way. Because some people have creative spaces everywhere, and some people have that one zone. And all creatives are kind of different.
Jack, what do you think? Because you're a super idea guy.
What about that?
Super
idea guy. That's my PBS show. In fact, I'm gonna start developing that right now.
But you need one of those one-piece bodysuits.
Yes, yeah. That hugs you in all the wrong places.
And all it is just a really big light bulb on your chest.
That's like oddly, slightly flesh toned.
Is that what? What?
Yeah, what?
Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
I mean, I think it can strike anywhere, but yeah, ideas, if we think of them as social creatures, they do have a weird way of hanging out in bathrooms. So I don't know what that says about ideas in there. No, but I do a lot in sitting in traffic. I mean, driving is like kind of zone out time, which I probably shouldn't admit to, but you know, yeah, you kind of are in that little space, and I think actually to some extent, getting in the creative zone or finding that creative space is actually a lot about routine and about almost preparing yourself for, you know, I'm going to do something creative now. And it sounds kind of silly, but in a way, I think that's a big component to it. And so whether you have a routine or you have a place you can go or you have a studio, but even something as simple as, I think, you know, habitual behavior like getting in a car and being stuck in traffic in a way is that routine and sort of spawns it. Yeah, I don't know. I find it's really easy to come up with like a really great like grain of a concept that you're like, oh man, that could be so many things, but then distilling it is kind of the hardest part.
Yeah,
totally.
Taking something that sounds great and just like you said, I mean, reducing something to one sentence, it's like it's kind of a weird process because you start there. You're like, oh, here's my one sentence. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then you start thinking about it for 6 months and you like distill it out. And then you have to realize you have to get back to that one sentence that you started at.
Now that you know the whole story, you're like, wait, no, how does there get from there in that one sentence?
Yeah. And you can never remember that initial one sentence that you started with.
Never. It's always like it's usually like a word or like a few words that you remember maybe, and you're like, crap.
Yeah.
Writer problems.
Noel said, some things you don't leave a paper trail for, and that's you have an idea in the bathroom.
You unload your bowels and your mind.
Oh my gosh. Put it all out there. Lay it out on the
But I think one of the important things is when you're having an idea, especially these days, it's super easy to move on it. and it's super easy to find out if there's a market for it. I mean, this show itself is. I called Jack one day, and I remember I was going over the Golden Gate Bridge. I called Jack, and I was like, "Hey, what if we did a show where the very beginning of the show, we wanted to have people submit artwork, and it'd be like a hot or not thing, and you would get a ranking, and then if you were top art piece, you'd be able to come on the show, and we'd harass you for however long." And I was explaining this to Jack, and he's like, "Yeah, I could see how that would work, la la la." But then we moved on it. The big thing is you don't know unless you do something with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot and write it down. Write it. No matter how silly it is, write it down and then come back to it later.
Yeah.
And if it still makes sense. What's that?
I have like 4 notebooks that have just ideas on a page. Like it's like maybe even just a couple words or like a paragraph that it varies, but it's just yep.
You have one for dreams. You have one for like video game thoughts, like music, like.
I heard about the dreams one before. Keep that by your nightstand or something, like right by your.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have stuff in my phone as well that I keep notes on, especially if it's like I don't have time to write this down. I'm just gonna be like.
I mean, I'm envious. You remember all of your dreams. You have crazy dreams. I barely remember like any of mine. Like I don't know what I'm doing, but like, but yeah, like a lot of people just feel maybe insecure, or they feel like they're going to be judged. The internet is fierce. Like people suck, but also there's also great people out there that you may change someone's life. So. You kind of just have to use that as just fuel to keep doing what you're doing. I mean, some people say if someone's not liking something you're doing something right. I mean, yeah, to maybe an extent, but with art, it's so subjective. Like you can't tell someone's emotions is wrong. You can't tell them what they're feeling is wrong, and that's just what I don't like about that. But it's like you've got to put your heart out there, otherwise you're never gonna know.
And for as many people that might not like it, there's going to be some that do.
Yeah.
Or at least encourage the effort.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're going to be wasting time, because every project that you do, you're going to learn. Look at you guys. You guys learned a ton. You guys have this property that's yours now, and that alone, it's worth it. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Priceless.
Yeah.
It's priceless. Same thing.
Yeah, and I mean on that same note, I think Carlos, what you said about just taking action, and action of any kind is really important. I mean, it's kind of the way ideas and thoughts and thinking in general works. I mean, you start with something but it just kind of stays that thing until you change it, until you move on it, until you make it into something. So it's like, okay, so I have an idea for a super idea man in my head, and it's literally just going to stay the like semi-nude spandex suit guy in my head until I move forward and I do an actionable step, even if it's just something as small as doing a little sketch or writing a paragraph about it, because then that expands it and it is going to change. I mean, that's kind of part of the creative process, is the change. And it's really easy to like come up with an idea and be like, oh, wouldn't that be great for a TV show? Right. But then you get totally overwhelmed because you're like, I don't know how the hell to make a TV show. But it's like, well, you're not going to figure out how to make a TV show if you just stop at, super idea man in spandex, and that's it. You got to take those actionable steps. You got to find out what's most doable for you, because the little steps turn into bigger steps, and before you know it, you're looking back at you and you got a project done.
Right.
Totally.
And kind of on that same note, what you were saying about how the internet is pretty cruel, and it goes on the heels of just taking steps of any kind. I don't know about you guys, but I find certainly for myself, and I hear this time and time again from artists, that they're their own worst critics. So it's kind of like, the internet's pretty cruel, but you're far meaner to yourself. So like, why not just put it out there? I mean, worst case is somebody's telling you something that you already felt. I mean, you know,
how could it get worse?
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. You know, it's kind of like almost like self-sabotage too when you do that. But that's just a natural thing. I think, you know, creatives or just all people have, like, everyone's creative, and it's just, but you just have to get that courage to throw it out there. But that's totally true. I never looked at it that way. So.
And at the end of the day, let's say your ultimate goal is to land a gig at whatever animation studio.
Mm-hmm.
If you have projects that you have worked on, studios, people that are hiring will see you as someone that has made the mistakes that they don't have to pay for.
Correct.
And we're talking, I mean, if we're going to break it down to dollars and cents, you have the experience, you have something that's there, that's tangible, and it's part of your portfolio. And all the benefits of you going out there to do it all and getting these projects together and finishing them is an important thing too, finishing something.
Right.
That speaks volumes more than someone that's just sitting there sending their resume out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's something tangible.
Huh.
You know, it's just, and yeah, it's the commitment that's put through it too. You know, it shows your work ethic and everything. And of course, the interviewer, sorry, will have to just ask you questions about it. And back to the fake it till you make it thing, they'll tell if you're just faking it too.
Yeah,
so it's just like,
sure.
Yeah.
how scary would that situation be? You know.
But that moment of just like, so what's the truth?
What is animation? But yeah, no, that's good.
Cool. I think it might be time for.
Here they come. Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come. This or that. This or that. This or that. This or that. This or that.
Eden Sky Studios. This or that. Starbucks or Jamba Juice.
How did we know that was coming?
Yeah, you knew it.
I definitely know mine. Jamba for me.
Well, okay, that's new.
I didn't know that.
I work at one of my day jobs is Starbucks. So,
That's why I love Starbucks, because you get to drink from Starbucks.
and there you go. If it wasn't for me.
But yeah, Starbucks.
Starbucks. All right. So now that you said Jamba Juice, no, just kidding. Yeah, actually, no. Jamba Juice or music?
Jamba Juice or music?
Trick question? Music.
Music, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy sipping Jamba Juice while listening to music, though.
There's Jamba Juice in the
I mean, sipping music. I mean, I don't.
Sipping music. Sipping on those cool vibes.
Eva, we're gonna need some clarification with that. Not really sure what that means.
the like.
Am I correct?
Gets all upset.
Oh man, can't even in the chat anymore.
This is probably been, this is the funniest chat we've had in probably ever. Okay, where were we? How about Tommy's Chili? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The Tommy's Burgers.
Tommy's. What is it? Burgers?
Oh, come on.
Tommy's Burgers?
You even lived in LA. You don't know what Tommy's is?
Wow.
I've never been there.
Get out of here.
Literally chili and everything.
All right. So how about this? I got damn. Look at
Charlie.
He cricketed my life.
Yeah, I'm cricketing your this or that.
That's a new one. Chocolate, real bougie, like cricket. Believe it, you live there. I don't even know you anymore.
Maybe.
Cricket, dude.
Right.
Crickets, get them.
Tommy's Chili or yeast?
I guess Tommy.
Beer. And I don't even
thank
drink
you.
beer.
He said beer. Okay, how about Silicon Valley or Tinseltown?
Tinseltown?
San Francisco or LA?
Mayday, we're going down.
Mayday.
That's what they call LA.
Yeah, back in the 50s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Answer the question.
I'll say LA. It's more exciting.
There's a lot more happening here, yeah.
Not stuck up.
And no tinsel.
All right. So now this is
Tinseltown.
Tinsel. There's shiny lights in Tinseltown.
Oh, rubs up paved with gold.
Where they got it?
Tinseltown.
Where they got all the fellas and the dames.
We've lost it.
Tinseltown.
Don't make me bring back that monocle dude from last week.
Waiting on him.
Imagine.
I'm trying to keep it going. Say the right thing.
Eva says she just tagged us both in her story with her Muppet arming.
Tinseltown.
Something tells me Ground Zero Animation Expo is going to be
A lot of fun.
yeah.
When I see her, that's the first thing I'm going to do. It's just,
We just have to all be there and just be like,
hey!
Oh,
oh, that's awesome.
go for it. 1 second. I was like, is she muted?
She
She
is
just jumped in there.
so amazing.
Like,
All right, last
perfectly
one.
on the camera.
Last one. This is an education question.
Okay.
Cal State LA or YouTube?
Yes, I like that.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Honestly, I still use YouTube today more than anything else.
I'm pretty sure students use YouTube, on their.
I actually use YouTube while in school.
I don't know. YouTube.
That's
Not to promote don't go to college or anything, but
No.
there's two different learning ways. It depends on what works best for you.
That's it for this or that. So that means
You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration.
I love this segment.
this week, y'all, I'm going to introduce you guys to
Hey,
Javier
family friendly.
Guzman.
I don't have the censor bars ready.
I'm offended.
Oh, yeah.
Are you triggered?
That's what they look like.
Laptops, yes, that's exactly what laptops look like. So Javier is a Chicago-based artist, which is pretty badass. But his work is completely amazing. He knows how to draw boobies, but he knows how to draw boobies too.
Oh my goodness. Majestic.
On that guy.
But if you guys are listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, anything like that, go to Instagram.com/scribbler80.
The gram.
Instagram.com/scribbler and the number 80. And you'll see what I'm talking about. This dude is totes amazing. In my 5-year-old room, eagle wing moobs. Yes, Noel. He has moobs. Yeah. But so far, everyone has been topless. Oh, here, boring. So no, check him out. All his stuff is really, really cool. And well, there you go. Like his poses are cool. His renderings are cool. The characters that he does are super neat. This is supposed to be animated. It's not doing anything. So, no.
Whoa. I think it's like a collage, I see.
Yeah. So, oh, that's what he did for 1,000 followers. There you go.
That's really cool, actually.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. His stuff, I'm going to go ahead and do like this. I love the thing that attracted to him, me to him was his use of color.
It's very hard.
Because that's something that that I've been working on with my stuff, is trying to get more eye-catching color and not make it be so boring. Oh, hey, look, Dave Atsy, we got a little something in there for you too.
Like turtles.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
I forgot we had that. So yeah, check him out. Instagram.com/scribbler and the number 80. Look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man is, the flow to his characters aren't as flowy as, say, Jack's Toad from last week, but they're there. But they're there. And that's something, I mean, if you're a beginning artist just getting into this and your poses look super stiff, try to go crazy. Take a look at Scribbler 80. Take a look at Jack's stuff. Like, it, just try to push your poses just a little bit, and you'll see that the more you push it, the more it makes sense, and you'll get more and more comfortable with it, and all of a sudden your drawings will have way more life. This girl is sitting there, but she has a lot of personality, and he's pushing poses. This guy here looks super real, and all he did was Photoshop. Just kidding.
He's pushing that pose,
Charlie.
He's probably holding it straight up, just like.
So yeah, take a look. Instagram.com/scribbler80, and his name is Javier Guzman. Chi-Town.
Stand up.
All right. With that being said, hey, Chuckington, do you feel like going next?
Jack, are you ready? I can go now.
You sleeping? Yes, I'm ready.
No, I'm not sleeping. But
All right.
Some fire.
So let's do this. We've got a guy by the name of James Castillo, and his handle is Murfish. Murfish. He's like a super fun kind of textury, rough brush character that I really like.
Yeah, I love it.
Also, good character work.
Look at that chicken. Or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's got some interesting.
Chicken stressed out.
So he did the design, and then I guess this was for a commercial.
That's cool.
And he's looking like Ernest Hemingway in his studio apparently. So.
That's the best selfie ever.
Doesn't it? It literally looks like some type of.
It's so like overexposed.
This
is me and my art.
That's a selfie for the shy folks.
But he's just got really good shapes.
Oh.
Good use it, but then he does this jazz stuff that I always love when people do, like exaggerated jazz characters. I've always kind of liked
The
that.
lead singer. It's got some lines for you there.
And good sense of light, color, just like these flashes of these gobos that fall over the characters, which I love.
That's really cool.
Murfish.
Murfish is awesome.
Yeah.
MURFISHCTN. Oh, looky.
Yeah, he's been at CTN. I know he does the circuits, so you might see him around.
Nice.
Look at this little guy.
Yes.
That's cool, man. When you do a character and then someone does
sick.
fan art and just kills it,
Just kills it with
that's
it.
awesome.
That's yeah.
I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be so happy.
Like if somebody
It's
killed
like an
you,
honor.
and major like fraud.
What's that?
I was just saying it's like an honor for
Oh,
people to
yeah.
do, like fan art. Like that's such a big deal. That's how you influence people. How you can
Tattoo.
speak to people.
Man, they should make the Grinch looking like this.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love
Like
that.
the Hulk, but for
See, I would love to do that. That'd be
Do
cool.
Avengers
Like,
Initiative.
The fur just right. It just looks so.
Posting, clearly using Procreate. He's got some process videos. Always fun to watch.
That's just so interesting to see. Like people would like to just do live streams of that, of just them doing it, and then they'll upload it.
Smart.
Fast forward, crazy.
It's so crazy how they color stuff too, because it's like literally the nose is way different color than the rest of the face, and starting out you're like I don't know if this is gonna work. That's what I'm thinking when you first start. Like, oh, really two different colors there, but it works.
And you remember how we had Marco, not Rubio? Marco, when we had Marco Bucci on, I bought some of his videos and I was like, that's it. I'm gonna paint just like Marco. That doesn't work. My stuff did not look as good as Marco Bucci's, and I'm gonna have to get my money back. No, just kidding.
How dare
Charlie, you gonna go?
Yes, I'm gonna go.
All
right. So for this week, only fitting I went 2D. I resisted the urge, and I switched it up because I wanted to go 2D. So here it is.
Yeah, son.
All right. So this week, my artist's name is Yu Yiming. Yu Yiming. I just butchered her name. Sorry.
Yu Yiming.
No, you know what I mean. I'm sorry.
What'd you call me?
Sorry.
What'd you call me?
So from China, and like really great style, right? Very painterly. What caught my eye, because usually when I find an artist, it's always one image that like draws me in, and that image was this guy.
I see what you did there.
Draws me in.
Thank you.
Ooh, I do like that.
So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
like,
The shading.
Is that Shiloh's name on those jerseys?
No, sound it out.
I can't really see.
I think it says Shahoku.
I can't really see. Hang on, let me make it.
It's cool. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. Product.
They look like Bulls
Chicago
jerseys to me.
Shohoku.
Yeah, we can do this here so you can see it.
What'd you call me?
There it is. So I like it because this guy looks like he runs things. This is the LeBron of the team. You think it'd be the gorilla? Yeah. This dude right here. This dude is like the troublemaker.
He's touching the hoop. He's top.
Yeah.
He's top monkey.
This guy has a shot from the outside. It's like crazy. I'm giving him stories. This is the trash talker right here.
He's always drawing penalties and stuff.
Silent, strong type, always focused, never rattled. He's the clutch. I don't see him coming.
He jumps off of the gorilla's back to make a slam jump.
He's been on the team for like 20 years. He just never gets.
They call him a manipulator. All right, so let's go back. But it gets better, guys. It gets better. I know it's been good so far. It gets better. So let's pull it back. Let's scroll down. So he's had some nice environment stuff. I have a thing for environments. Really cool, moody things.
Ooh, I like that.
Really nice with a pop.
That's Hawaii as we speak.
Yeah, yes. What Hawaii used to be.
Forever forming.
I'm loving it. It's this little turquoise character here in the corner here. Look at that. Now we're starting to get into some really cool. Look at this. It's really cool when I love artists that like they just, this is what they dreamed last night and they figured they can put it on the screen for us to share. The guy's still there. He's our hero little character is throughout here.
I mean, he just is an Instagrammer. He's going all sorts of places and photographing himself.
Yeah. Then you have some stuff like this. So then it starts getting more like controlled, as I like to call it. I don't know if it's stuff for work, but like, starts to look at this. But then you got this. Look at this guy here.
Yes.
Dude is on it. So he goes into this whole run of like characters. So I'm gonna do this so you can see them better. Look at these guys. Look at this dude.
The karate one's cool. Or the cat below.
Amazing.
I love the expressions though.
All these guys are awesome. This dude works for a living. This guy here putting in work.
Oh, that
He'll move your stuff perfectly. And
It's like Zootopia almost.
Yeah.
Right? Like I love this. It's like it's cool with ArtStation too. If people post like a lot of different things, because then you can kind of see when they get into these moods of like, I'm gonna do animal characters. This dude's like, don't talk to me. I want to listen to my tunes and commute.
I think he has the volume too high. He's just like, ah.
Yeah, he's like,
Charlie, does you have an Instagram account?
I believe he does. Let's find out. You have to Google him. Hold on, let me go back. Hold on. Wait.
Damn it. No, but he's on Twitch.
Oh, is he on Twitch?
Isn't that the Twitch icon right there?
It is. Old Fish.
Old Fish.
His thing's called Old Fish. Interesting.
All right, we need to.
Yeah, so scroll down. So check him out. You know, just really cool character stuff. I don't know why I think so. Well, there is. Just really cool character stuff. You know, I like it. It's different. You know, check him out. You Ming. You know, and then he goes into like these really awesome like just animal studies like this. You know, the proportions and stuff.
I love the brush that he uses.
Yeah, right.
Like
it's really cool.
Textures, yeah.
It is.
So much talent.
Little paparazzi. These are cats, I believe. Yeah. Awesome. It has a wide range of stuff too, so you can do the other stuff. So you can do it all. So look at this. You can see how this is like a little process one I want to show at the end here.
That's wonderful.
Starts to tighten it up even more.
I love progressions.
Use them perspective lines like a champ.
Yeah.
Right. Boom, bam, bam. Gritted it out again like a champ. No
sense of scale.
And that's
just put that on
folks. Yeah. He just took a picture and laid it over the scribbles.
This shade, Jack. Don't be fooled by the smoke and mirrors. No, it's awesome. Check him out. Get him in your life.
Nice. Good share.
You know what you mean? Sorry. Sorry.
You what?
You mean?
How about you, Eden Sky guys? Do you have anyone you would like to brag about?
Yeah, I got two people. I'll do them really quickly. Let me see here. Let me try to screen share. Okay, so this person I know, her name's Maya. She has a lot of like going back to the colors. I love the way that she does her coloring, and even when I meet people or look at art, I always look at eyes. Those are the first things I see. And her line work in general is incredible. I love how she takes Disney princesses and does it in her own elegant style. And since I'm into fashion photography and everything too, this is amazing reference material even too. But just the way that she uses her colors, and I think some of these are probably just made up characters as well. But anyone who's into fashion, beauty, any of that stuff like this, I would recommend her. I always just enjoy seeing her even just her marker, just her sketches like this. It's just very simple, but there's a lot of expression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys get it. This is great though. So yeah, Maya.
I love when people draw. I love when people draw traditionally, and then they put down the marker or the pencil that they're using, just to let you know, yes, I'm boss like that.
Yeah, totally.
Well, or they're also just tired of people saying, "What pen did you use?"
Yeah, totally.
Right.
And then the other one that I have, he used to be a Disney animator. His name is Andreas Deja. He has a blog called Deja Vu. Do you guys follow this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I try to follow this like every day. For those of you who don't know who Andreas Deja is, he's an ex-Disney animator. He's done a lot of the Disney villains like Scar, Jafar, and Gaston and everything. And his blog archive goes back to 2011. And this guy posts almost every day. He has a huge art collection. Like he owns a lot of these original works. Like this is from Tim Burton when he worked with him before he was like the Tim Burton. Like a lot of these are just like concept sketches, and this is so inspiring to see, you know, what our favorite stories were originally. He talks about a lot of his past work. You know, he shows some of his books, a lot of like Milt Kahl work, and he loves pointing out all of the old artwork from the Nine Old Men. He's like, this is what Milt would have drawn like, but this is what, you know,
Amazing.
The other guys would have done. You know, like everyone has their own handwriting, but like their handwriting was their character. Sorry. Yeah, like this is very inspiring. This actually inspired a lot of like you know, us starting our own studio and everything too. And he always just has great information to like talk about. But check it out, Deja Vu. I should probably put these in the chat. Let's do that right now. Sharing. Perfect.
Cool. Those are
Awesome.
excellent.
Yeah,
How about you, Spencer?
Okay. One for sure. There's one person I've seen her art. I have no idea what her tag and stuff is, but I'll go with the other person first. Let me just do the share thing. So this is a good friend of ours. It's very anime chibi style. She has a lot of. This is like her favorite stuff to do, and you can even see like she actually did some stuff for us. Like this is actually Greg right here.
So cute.
Yeah. Yeah, she does a lot of like very expressive art, and just she loves to make people chibi form. That's like one of her favorite things to do.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of see.
that person has no life left.
But yeah, she actually just recently did a convention too, selling some of her art and buttons and stuff.
Okay, so she does the button thing. The button culture. There it is, Carlos.
Jack, I'm telling you.
The way I like it.
Jack and I got some pins coming to Ground Zero Animation Expo, GZA Expo down
Rolling along.
Wow,
Whatever I just said, I don't know what words that was, but it was words somehow. Okay, and then the other thing, it was just I use Pinterest a lot. It's called Crazy Flesh. That's the project itself.
Ooh.
And,
You use what a lot?
Pinterest.
Yes.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for
Charlie was sleeping.
Nation. I was
I
reading
didn't even wake up to Pinterest.
I used to be so against it, but I use it every day now.
That was so good.
don't fight it.
So
Let it happen.
There's more than
Crazy.
recipes.
yeah.
Yeah. Art side of it.
And this is actually just like an Instagram that I found it. I'm guessing it's the artist, Glass Blue, but you can kind of see like it's just like the dramaticness of the characters, and I just love the art style. Just really cool.
Yeah, our show's kind of inspired by anime as well, and that's like more of like Spencer's side too. Like we're inspired a lot by Legend of Zelda, a lot of their concept art. Avatar: The Last Airbender,
yeah.
that was another one too. I mean, those two games and shows, like, and even Kingdom Hearts, like hell, it's just influenced us. But
Yeah.
Cool. I'm following both of them now.
yeah.
Awesome. Hey guys. So if people were looking for you and to follow you guys online, where might they be able to find you guys?
I would just recommend, the Edensky Studios Instagram, because we're trying to be more active now that the ball's rolling. We're trying to be more interacted with people on Facebook too. We do have a website. It's under construction. You can go to EdenskyStudios.com if you like, but I haven't updated it in a couple months, but that's going to change hopefully after the expo. But yeah, our Instagram, Eden Sky Studios, you can check for, like the latest updates that we have, or even our stories. I'm always trying to kind of do something. I do the social media for it. But we're trying to expand, social media is something that we're trying to get better at and stay on top of.
Cool. And that's both of you guys. So like Spencer, you don't have like a hidden music,
I mean, I have my own personal Instagram. If anyone wants to look at that, I'm very infrequent, but it's usually something kind of cool. At least I think so. But it's Toolshed. It's TUEL Shed.
Nice.
I like
On
that.
Instagram. That is my tag for pretty much everything. You can find me on almost every social media platform with that. But yeah.
Checking you out. Oh, there you are.
And for those of you watching who don't follow me, my name is Greg Lawson or Gregory Lawson. You can add me on Instagram at Greg with 2 G's, GREGG .Lawson. LAWSON.
Boom. Got you too. Excellent. Look at you with your little sexy ass profile picture there.
Hey, man, yeah, that's I have a lot of my photography going on right there.
Awesome. Hey Charlie.
Yes.
Catch your breath and then let people know where they can find you.
If you want to find me, you can find me on my website, cargocollective.com/CharlieB. You can find me on Twitter, CBW3, Instagram, CharlieBW3, Almighty Pinterest, CharlieBW3. Get it all in your life.
That's that down.
The Trist. Hey Jack, where can people find you?
You can find me at sketchbookjack.com and sketchbookjack on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. I got to leave Twitter out of there now. I got out of that.
Eva wants to know if Spencer, if you're a tool.
Ooh.
With that spelling, yes.
Nice.
Biggest tool ever.
Oh, hey, I'm Carlos.
That sounds like
You can find me at carlosrgomez.com or coconutjustice.com. Coconut Justice everywhere else, like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Behance, Twitch, and yes, even Artella. This is Sketch Zone. You can find us at sketch.zone, and from there you can find us everywhere. We got links to our Instagram page, Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, the subscribe button is down there, so go ahead and click that and then hit the little bell, so whenever we come on with spectacular people like Eden Sky Studios, you guys will be alerted. So we said Twitter, we said YouTube, Twitch. The subscribe button is up there somewhere, so go ahead and subscribe there. And then again, we are on Instagram, instagram.com/sketchzonepodcast, where you will find our weekly drawing fun prompts. This week is a stubborn, tortured ram court reporter pogo jumping.
I don't know what's going on there.
It's gonna be amazing.
So is it,
Many
are they
words.
actively
I feel like there's gotta be
tortured, or is it
something
like,
added to that. I mean,
Whatever you want to do, Spin.
Whatever.
or do they just feel tortured? They're just like distressed.
Yeah, now you're thinking. Think outside the box with this.
I mean,
And
what's
then
a
when
ram have
you-
to stress about?
He's biting his hooves. And then when you go to submit it, said thanks for the shout out. Oh, killer. That's awesome. Scribbler 80 is Johnny on the spot with the shout outs. So yeah, if you do the fun prompt, go ahead and tag us. Don't just at Sketch Zone Podcast us. Go ahead and go through the little button that says tag people and get us in there, because then that way we're alerted and we'll be able to share your artwork so more people can see it. because otherwise it gets lost in that little heart list thing. So yeah, so with that, thank you guys again for being here.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
dude, you guys are amazing.
This is awesome.
This is our first show, actually, really. So
Yeah.
Be great.
You know why?
Now you're spoiled.
Yeah.
It's because we're all getting ready for Ground Zero Animation.
Bam.
GZAExpo.com.
Ah!
Gotta do a live show there. Animal.
Thanks, Eva. You are an
chat was
amazing young
lit.
lady. I'm looking forward to hanging out with all you guys. I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance for whatever might happen. I don't know.
Nice.
I just need to go ahead and put that out there.
Gave you a disclaimer beforehand. know it's
Got a few weeks to be ready.
To marinate.
Anyway, with that being said, everyone, have a good week.
See you guys.
Hey, guys.
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.